call it? Mo Day, a time of fanfare and pride, and another week with the neighborhood's best yard, because you drafted the MVP of all mowers. A comfortable seat and adjustable controls bring the battle to your turf, not your backside. Ride like the wind on your solid steel stallion and give the fans something to cheer about, because it's your day. It's Mo Day.
At Smith & Wood Wealth Management, we're proud to be part of the Rome community, where the same teamwork that wins on the court inspires our approach to financial planning and investment. Just like the model high school Blue Devils and Lady Devils, success starts with a solid game plan. Like a trusted coach, we provide insight and guidance so you can pursue your financial goals with confidence. The Smith & Wood financial planning process centers on understanding your unique goals and creating strategies that balance enjoyment today with preparations for tomorrow's challenges. We would love to work with you to build a game plan for the season ahead. Welcome to Shannon Pharmacy, proudly serving the Shannon community since 2004. We're your small, full-service pharmacy with a big heart, offering friendly, professional service and a caring community feel. Whether you need prescriptions filled, expert advice, or health products, we're here for you. Experience the difference at Shannon Pharmacy, where your health is our priority. Visit us today.
If you ever find yourself moving through these doors,
we're gonna take care of you.
If you ever hear these sounds, or see these lights, may you find our caring team of ER experts all around you. This is the human spirit at its best. Advent Health. Feel whole.
WC Timber has been serving the Northwest Georgia and Northeast Alabama area since 1991. As a complete tree and timber service, WC Timber can handle thinning and clear cutting, tree chipping, stump removal, and storm damage, as well as bucket truck and crane services. For more information, visit them on the web at wctimber.com or give them a call at area code 706-238-1214. WC Timber and Tree Service.
You have to be tough to be the world's #1 selling farm tractor. Mahindra tractors have a tough, heavy-duty steel frame, so they can lift fallen trees and everything else thrown our way. And you're tough, too. You maintain roads and mend fences and give your neighbors a hand and still make it to church on Sunday. Now that stuff sounds like we have a lot in common. Mahindra, the official tractor of tough.
At Northwest Georgia Media, we're all about capturing the moments that matter to you. From sports to arts, From concerts to business events, we're equipped to share what's happening in your world, live and in high definition. We leverage cutting-edge technology and a knowledgeable crew to see that your most unforgettable events remain just that, unforgettable. Northwest Georgia Media, where the world is your audience. High school basketball coverage begins now. This broadcast is produced by Northwest Georgia Media and WLAQ Radio. Coverage is also provided on the Southeast Sports Network. You're watching high school basketball action.
We do get you ready for some more great basketball here from Model. We've got the Model Lady Devils and the Temple Lady Tigers coming up first, and we're going to dive into the matchup in detail as we go along throughout our pregame. But we just wanted to take the opportunity here to welcome you in tonight. Bit cool outside, bordering on cold, but it feels nice and cozy in the gym tonight, and we're going to have a lot of fun here with these two games that we've got coming up between a couple of programs that really like to get after each other. So it's going to be a great environment in here tonight, and we're going to get to see some really awesome basketball. But as we open up the broadcast today, we do want to take an opportunity to recognize the sponsors of our coverage. Radio coverage tonight presented by Mathis Trailers and Equipment Sales. As far as the video is concerned, instant replay will be brought to you tonight by Smith and Wood Wealth Management. Also, Mathis Trailers and Equipment Sales on board with the video broadcast tonight as the sponsor as well. Snodgrass and Robinson Plastic Surgery Specialist, Advent Health, Redmond, Shannon Pharmacy, Dogwood Books, The Herb on Broad Street, and Duffy's Deli. We'll talk about the crew coming up in just a little bit. But just to give you a little bit of a preview of what we've got coming up in our first matchup, again, it's the Model Lady Devils coming into this game at 9-6 on the season, 3-1 in region play. This is a region game tonight between these two teams out of Region 6, Class A, Division 1. The Temple Lady Tigers come in with a really solid record, 11-5, 3-2 overall on the season. The Lady Devils lost their last game. More on that in our second segment. And the Lady Tigers would pick up a victory in their last. We're going to dive into the details of those matchups, their previous matchups, when we come back. But what we're going to do now is take a quick 3-minute break. We'll do a 3-minute break down the line. We'll come back. We'll continue to unpack the matchup here in our first game. Again, it's the Model Lady Devils and Temple Lady Tigers coming up in about 11 minutes. We'll back in 3.
You have to be tough to be the world's #1 selling farm tractor. Mahindra tractors are tough thanks to more built-in weight, so they can safely pull flex-wing mowers and rescue neighbors stuck in the mud. And you're tough too. You haul feed and pull a float in your hometown parade.
Let's pray.
And still make it to supper. Now that's tough. Sounds like we have a lot in common. Mahindra, the official tractor of tough.
Welcome to Shannon Pharmacy, proudly serving the Shannon community since 2004. We're your small, full-service pharmacy with a big heart, offering friendly, professional service and a caring community feel. Whether you need prescriptions filled, expert advice, or health products, we're here for you. Experience the difference at Shannon Pharmacy, where your health is our priority. Visit us today.
We'll welcome you back in for live coverage of Model basketball tonight, live inside Woodard Gymnasium on the campus of Model High School in Rome, Georgia, or as a lot of people call it, Shannon, even though the actual location of the school currently is in Rome, Georgia. But we're glad to have you back with us. We'll go ahead and continue to dive into tonight's matchup. We mentioned Model comes in 9-6. Meanwhile, Temple 11-5. Let's talk about their last games. For the Temple Lady Tigers, they would play and beat Haralson County 41-22 in their last game. It was a bounce-back win after a 57-38 loss at Heard County earlier last week. This game against Haralson County was at the end of the week last week. And as far as individual effort, on the Lady Tigers team, they would pick up 13 points, 13 rebounds from Haley Davis, definitely a force on this basketball team, 12 points from Anna Howell, 11 points from Taylor Malone, and then they picked up 2 points apiece from Kiki Parham and also Josie Bisping. So a great team effort there. One of the things that's a hallmark of a Temple Lady Tigers team coached by Jake Shirley is they play great defense. They share the ball, spread it around. There were a lot of assists in their victory over Haralson County last week. They had 9 assists in that game. They blocked 5 shots, had 31 rebounds, so they did a great job crashing the boards, picking up rebounds, and then also had 13 steals. So again, really solid defense and then sharing the ball on offense. Meanwhile, for the Model Lady Devils, their last game was a loss to Sonoraville, 52-40. That was last Friday, just a few days ago. They were down by 3 points after the first quarter. They were down by 8 by halftime. And when everything was said and done, after getting outscored 27-23 in the second half, again, they would eventually end up losing that game 52-40 to Sonoraville. So they look to bounce back on their home court tonight against a really tough Temple Lady Tigers basketball team. As far as scoring is concerned in the game against Sonoraville, for a Model, they picked up 17 points by Cam Sanders. Also, they would pick up 2 points from Maddie Mathis, 3 from Georgia Womack, 4 points for Sasha Wood, 3 points from Samantha Betts. Also in double digits was Jada Wells, who picked up 10 in that game, and Alana Penn pitched in with 1 point from the free throw line. So again, it was another effort there for the Model Lady Devils where they did a good job sharing the ball, kind of spreading it around, finding different sources to score, but unfortunately just couldn't put together enough to surpass the Sonoraville Phoenix basketball team, which is a really, really good basketball team. So a tough matchup, and again, the Lady Devils will try to dial it back in tonight and get back in the win column at home against the Temple Lady Tigers. Well, folks, we're going to take one more break here. We're going to take a 3-minute break here in just a couple of moments, and when we come back, we're going to continue to unpack this matchup and get you ready for game time. And we will let you know that this will be the only broadcast of Model basketball this week on WLAQ and also the live stream. However, big road matchups coming up at Darlington coming up on Friday. I imagine it's going to be a packed house inside the Huffman Center coming up Friday night. So definitely wear your blue and head on over and check out those games. It's going to be a great environment and atmosphere for those rivalry games. They're going to take place again coming up on Friday. Next broadcast after tonight will be on Tuesday against Bremen here inside Woodard Gymnasium at 6 and 7:30, girls and boys respectively, and it'll be a live stream and radio event. But the best thing to do, as we always tell you, is to get yourself inside the gym and be here and support these kids. Well, what we're going to do now is take a 3-minute break, one more 3-minute break. We'll come back, give you the starting lineups, and then we'll get things ready to rock and roll inside Woodard Gymnasium. It's high school basketball night. You don't want to go anywhere unless you're coming out here, of course, and we'll be back in 3 minutes for more coverage.
They call it Mo Day, a time of fanfare and pride, and another week with the neighborhood's best yard, because you drafted the MVP of all mowers. A comfortable seat and adjustable controls bring the battle to your turf, not your backside. Ride like the wind on your solid steel stallion and give the fans something to cheer about, because it's your day. It's Mo Day.
At Smith & Wood Wealth Management, we're proud to be part of the Rome community, where the same teamwork that wins on the court inspires our approach to financial planning and investment. Just like the Model High School Blue Devils and Lady Devils, success starts with a solid game plan. Like a trusted coach, we provide insight and guidance so you can pursue your financial goals with confidence. The Smith & Wood financial planning process centers on understanding your unique goals and creating strategies that balance enjoyment today with preparations for tomorrow's challenges. We would love to work with you to build a game plan for the season ahead. WC Timber has been serving the Northwest Georgia and Northeast Alabama area since 1991. As a complete tree and timber service, WC Timber can handle thinning and clear cutting, tree chipping, stump removal, and storm damage, as well as bucket truck and crane services. For more information, visit them on the web at wctimber.com or give them a call at area code 706-238-1214. WC Timber and Tree Service.
Less than a minute away from tip-off here inside Woodard Gymnasium, and so here in our last segment as we lead into tip-off here in just a couple of moments is to have the national anthem here in just a few moments, and then we'll give you the starting lineups and it'll be go time. We do want to let you know that even though this will be the only high school basketball broadcast that we have on WLAQ coming up this week, we do have a lot of Georgia Tech hoops in the coming days. Tomorrow, as you heard in the promo, if you're listening on the radio side, it's going to be the Pitt Panthers at McCamish Pavilion taking on the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. 6:30 pregame for that. 7 o'clock, I think, is when the tip-off is. Meanwhile, coming up on Saturday, Tech is going to hit the road, and they'll be at NC State. 11:30 pregame for that with a noon tip-off. So a couple of nights or afternoon and a night of Tech hoops coming up for you tomorrow and then on Saturday afternoon. Well, let's go ahead and have the national anthem as they're announcing now over the PA. We'll turn it over that way. And then again, we'll get you the starting lineups and get things rolling inside Woodard Gymnasium. Here we go. Our nation's, of course, our national anthem, and now we'll give you the starting lineups and we'll get rolling inside Woodard Gymnasium between the Model Lady Devils and the Temple Lady Tigers. Let's start with the Temple Lady Tigers. Number 4, Haley Davis. You've got number 10, Anna Howell. Also Tyler Malone in the starting lineup tonight here for the Lady Tigers. Number 12, Kiki Parham. And then rounding out the starting 5 here for the Temple Lady Tigers is going to be Josie Bisping. And that rounds out their starting 5. Their head coach is Jake Shirley. And now for your model Lady Blue Devils as we get ready to roll inside Woodard Gymnasium. It's going to be number 1, Cam Sanders, the sophomore in the starting lineup tonight. Number 3, Addie Mathis, a senior. Number 15, Sasha Wood, a senior in the starting lineup tonight. Number 21, Samantha Betts, a sophomore. And rounding out the starting lineup here for the Lady Devils is going to be number 25, Jada Wells. She is a senior, and the coach of the Model Lady Devils is Sally Eccles. So there you go, folks. Everybody's just about ready to roll. And we're going to have, I'd say, a medium-sized crowd on hand tonight. We're going to be about half full as we get ready to go here with the first period. Maybe as time goes on throughout the course of the night, more fans will begin to filter in as the game progresses. But it's time to go. In the circle here for Temple is going to be Haley Davis, and for Model it's going to be Cam Sanders. And we're ready to go. Official giving some last-minute instructions here as we get ready to go. And the ball is in the air. It's time for the ball game. Tip is going to go to Temple. They're going to score right out of the gate. And scoring is going to be Malone, picking up the first points of the basketball game. It is 2-0 in favor of Temple. So we are officially underway. I'm Matt Davis with play-by-play story tonight. Flying solo. Had a last-minute scratch here about lunchtime today, as my partner in crime, Ian, had something that came up he had to take care of. So he'll be back with us for the next broadcast coming up on Tuesday. Missed shot for the Model Lady Devils, a one-and-done trip, and now Temple will bring it back the other way. Across the timeline is going to go Malone. Malone drives into the lane, puts it up, gets it to the rim, and it rattles through. Malone has got 2 buckets, and it's a 4-0 run to start the first quarter in the first 45 seconds here for the Temple Lady Tigers. Model with the basketball. Betts has got it, sends it to the right wing side over to Sasha Wood in front of the Temple bench. They bounce it down low, trying to get it to Sanders, as the Model Lady Devils try to get their offense cranked up here on their second possession. One and done on the first. Here is Betts going into the lane, trying to get it over to Wells. The pass is picked off. Temple's got it, and they look to be putting together a little bit of a run here to start the game. 6:45 left to go in the first quarter. Temple already up 4-0 and looking to add to it. They go into the lane, shot off the glass. That one rolls across the rim, and Betts gets the rebound as the Lady Devils bring it back the other way. That was a carry, I believe. Nope, double dribble there for Sasha Wood, and that is going to be a turnover. So Model here right out of the gate, really out of sorts on the offensive side of the floor, trying to get things dialed in. So we'll see what happens, but Temple to bring it back up the floor. Of course, one of the players here for Temple that graduated last year is McKenna Nix, and she was a 2,000-point-plus scorer over the course of her career playing with Temple, and now she is playing at University of South Carolina Aiken for the Pacers. And I looked up her stats today, and it looked like she's playing a ton of minutes as a freshman. So that is definitely one of the pieces that this team has missed since last year, but still a very good basketball team. They come in 11-5. Inbound pass is going to go to Malone, who scored both baskets in the game. Again, Temple leads at 4-0. Malone has got the ball, and now she backs out around the perimeter, resets the offense, hands it off to Howell. Howell with it between the circles, now going to send it to the near side, gets it over to Parham. Parham going to make a move, trying to work around Samantha Betts, and she gets tripped up. They're going to call a blocking foul against Samantha Betts, and the ball will stay with Temple as they get ready to inbound underneath their own basket. To trigger an in motion is going to be Anna Howell. She surveys the floor, trying to find the open player, lobs it in, gets it down to Bisping. Now they send it to the right wing side, breaks baseline, stepped on the inline right in front of the official, and it's coming back to the Lady Devils. And right now, with 2 minutes into the game, it feels kind of fortunate that Model is only down 4-0. As difficult of a time as they've had getting in rhythm on offense on their side of the floor. Right now, Sanders with it at the top of the key. Works her way right, lobs it underneath, getting it to Wells, backs up a couple of steps, puts it up, gets it to the rim, misses. Ball is going to be tied up, and in this circumstance, it's going to point in Model's direction. So it stays on this end of the floor. And Model gets ready for Sasha Wood to inbound the basketball here for the Lady Devils. It's going to find Cam Sanders up top. They work it left, get it to Betts. Betts fires it up top to Mathis. Good ball movement, right wing side. Long two is going to be missed by Wood. Rebound goes to Temple. They want to work fast, almost a little bit too fast, but they keep it in bounds. Now they go back towards the free throw line with it. Ball gets loose. Now they'll drive the lane. Little scoop shot, too strong off the window. Rebound was picked up by Model. It was poked free momentarily, but Samantha Betts comes in and helps out Cam Sanders and retains possession. Works around a screen, sends it right. Now back to Sanders. Open three on the way, and it is in. Cam Sanders drains the three-point shot and cuts it to a one-point ball game. And sometimes, as we always say, you just got to see the ball go through one time, and then you start to build your confidence shooting the basketball. And maybe that's just what the Lady Devils needed to crank up this offense. Here's a little scoop shot on the other end, missed shot. As the Lady Devils get the rebound, try to carry the momentum back to the other side. Here's Addie Mathis, going to send it left wing side. Sasha Wood onto Cam Sanders. Lob underneath to Jada Wells. Backs up, puts it up in traffic, misses the shot. And the rebound is going to go to Bisping here of Temple. So a one-and-done trip there for the Lady Devils. We got a 4-3 ball game. Temple with the basketball in the lead. 4:20 remains here in the opening quarter of this girls varsity game. They're going to send it to the right wing side, do the Temple Lady Tigers. Send it to a cutting player underneath, drives towards the baseline. Good defense right there. Standing her ground was Samantha Betts and nearly forcing a turnover. Ball was knocked out of bounds by Model, so it's going to stay with Temple. But no doubt that Coach Eccles has got to like the way that her team has played defense here on this possession. 12 seconds left on the shot clock. Temple inbounds the ball. They go right to the lane, missing the shot but drawing the foul. And so we've got the first free throw shots of the contest coming up in just a couple of moments. And the foul, by the way, was called on Eva Pointer, who has checked into the game for Model. And at the free throw line is going to be Parham. Puts the ball in the air, and that one's going to rattle in. So she makes the first and gets ready for a second. Now Temple is out to a 2-point lead, largest lead of the game. About halfway through the first quarter as 4 points as Temple opened up on a 4-0 mini run to start the game. The free throw is missed. Model has the opportunity to tie or take the lead with this possession. Sasha Woods got it on the right wing side. Samantha Betts now receives the ball between the circles, tries to work around a screen from Pointer. Ball's in the hands of Wood, nearly loses it. It's loose on the floor. It'll be picked up by Rigdon, who is in off the bench here for this Temple Lady Tigers team. Now back into the hands of Malone, who is their primary ball handler. They kick it out the left wing side. Now work inside does Rigdon. Now they try to kick it back outside. Ball is stripped. Coming out with it was Pointer. Here is Betts. Works it down low, passes it to Sanders. And in an attempt to keep the ball in bounds, Parham was standing on the baseline as she received the ball. So it's going to be with Model on their end of the floor. Samantha Betts gets ready to inbound the basketball as we get a look at Kearney's corner if you're watching on the video. Great guys over there, great people, no question. Kearney's. Here is Cam Sanders dribbling on the Woodard Gymnasium logo in front of the Temple bench. Send it over to Betts, now to Sanders, underneath to Pointer. Off the glass and through. Great sequence there. Sanders with the pass to Pointer and Pointer with the finish. We got a 5-5 ball game. We're tied up. 3:03 left to go first quarter. Temple across the timeline. They'll go right towards the lane. Kind of a wild shot there is missed. Samantha Betts takes the rebound, fires it underneath, gets it to Womack. And she is instantly fouled. And so we'll see Model inbound the ball as that was on the floor. And Womack will get ready to inbound the ball here for the Lady Devils underneath their own basket with 2:51 left to go in the first quarter with the game tied at 5 apiece. Womack surveys the floor, is going to fire it in, gets it over to Betts. Pass underneath to Penn, ball loose on the floor, and I think we're going to see another jump ball. Officials took a moment to blow the whistle on it that time, but this time the possession arrow is pointing in Temple's direction. So the Lady Tigers are set to inbound the basketball here momentarily with the game knotted up at 5 apiece. Temple trying to work around a little bit of pressure here from the Lady Devils. They are able to pass out of it and go right into the lane. The shot is up, left short, just hangs on the front of the rim. Rebound goes to Model. Lady Devils come back the other way. Womack on the left wing side picks up her dribble, sends it over to Betts. Now she goes right wing, gets it over to Sanders and knocks down her second three of the contest. And Model takes their first lead of the game with 2:15 left to go here in the first. Nearly a steal on the other end. Temple retains possession, though. They send it to the right wing side. Now work it around the perimeter. Long range, wide open three-point shot is going to go off the front of the rim. Rebound is going to go to Model. Lady Devils to bring it back the other way. Samantha Betts across the timeline. Dribbles right. Now works it back up towards the top of the key to Cam Sanders, who has the hot hand early in this game. Model up 8-5. Womack with it, sends it inside to Penn at the high post, sends it right wing side, 2 steps back, and the shot in the air is going to be left short for Sanders. Collects her own rebound, backs her way into the lane, is tied up between 2 defenders, and was trying to pass it outside to Samantha Betts, a little too strong, sails out of bounds, and it's coming back to Temple. And so 1:32 left to go in the first quarter. Model leads at 8-5 after trailing 4-0 to start the game. Took a little second to get the engine cranked up, but they look to be in better rhythm right now. Here is Temple on the right wing, going to work inside. Little scoop shot is missed by Taylor Malone, but she has earned a trip to the charity stripe. So free throws coming up from Malone, and this will be the second trip to the stripe here for Temple here in the basketball game. Model has yet to earn a trip to the stripe here through about 7 minutes of the game. We're in the first quarter. First shot on the way, and that one's going to go right through there for Malone. And that cuts it back to a 2-point game, 8-6 in favor of Model. Diamond going to check into the game here for Model. So right now for the Lady Devils, you've got Sanders, Womack, Sasha Wood, Eva Pointer, and Zakia Diamond. We'll give you a floor check on Temple in just a couple of moments. Still kind of learning their names at this early part of the game. It's the first time I've seen them this year. Second shot on the way, and that one's going to rattle through, so she makes them both, does Malone. And now the Lady Devils are across the timeline. Screen, high screen there for Cam Sanders. Ball goes right back to her from Sasha Wood. Now dribbles off the left wing side, and we're going to have a violation against the Model Lady Devils. So that is a turnover. Model hangs on a 8-7 lead, or clings to it rather. And we've got 1:06 left to go in the first quarter. So we've almost got the first frame of this one in the books. We'll have 2 games tonight. Have a boys game after this one a little bit later on. And we got this one started right on time. Temple with the basketball. They work it up towards the top of the key between the circles. And a long 3-point shot on the way and banks that one in. That was Malone, who knocks one down and is having a whale of a first quarter as Temple regains the lead with just under 40 seconds left to go here in the quarter. Model dribbles down the other side of the floor. Here's Cam Sanders, made 2 threes, and it's 3 for her in the first quarter. 9 points for Cam Sanders, has made 3 threes, and now Model takes the lead back. We've already had a few lead changes here in our first quarter. Shot clock is off. Temple can hold to the last shot if they choose to do so. 15 seconds, and that looks like exactly what they want to do. Now they'll work inside. Ball is stripped away. Pointer has got it. Getting her hands in there on defense. Passes it underneath to Wood. Puts it up. Gets it to the rim. Misses the shot. But she has earned a trip to the free throw line, and this is the first trip to the charity stripe of the ball game for the Lady Devils. They've got a 1-point, 11-10 lead after the made 3 by Cam Sanders on the previous possession. And now they can add to their lead here from the free throw line just before the end of the first quarter. And that one caroms off the rim. We'll get ready for the second free throw here from Sasha Wood, which would make it a 2-point game with 5.6 seconds left to go in the opening quarter. Wood at the free throw line shoots, and that one goes right through. So it is a 2-point game, 12-10. 5.6 seconds to work with for Temple on what will be the last possession of the first quarter, more than likely. They are going to cross-court pass. Shot is up, missed. 2 seconds left to go on the clock. Got to heave it and they don't get within range to take a shot there, and that's the end of the first quarter. So Model's going to lead it heading into the second quarter, 12-10. We'll take a 1-minute break. We'll be right back for more basketball coverage on WLAQ and Northwest Georgia Media. Back in 1 minute. Just about to start the second quarter. We welcome you back inside to the friendly confines of Woodard Gymnasium on a cold January, almost mid-January evening, and it feels nice and cozy in here. I'm glad to be indoors and always glad to be watching some Model basketball. But right now, Model's got a 2-point lead as we've started our second quarter. Model with possession of the ball. Sasha Woods got it. It's going to send it right wing side. Gets it to Mathis. Pass is nearly picked off. Now Cam Sanders with it on the right wing side, deep in the corner. And I believe she held the ball too long, and she did. So that's going to be a turnover there for the Lady Devils. It's coming back to Temple with 7:35 left to go here as we've just started our second quarter of the basketball game. So a tough turnover there for the Lady Devils. And Temple will bring it back the other way. Malone's got it across the midcourt stripe, sends it right wing side. Now back into the corner to Malone, who receives the pass. Going to put up the corner three, misses the shot well. Way too strong there. Mathis has got the long rebound, tries to bounce it to a player who had not yet reached the place of the pass, and the ball goes out of bounds, but it was tipped by one of the Temple players. So the Model Lady Devils dodged the bullet in terms of the turnover there. They will have possession of the ball. They're going to send it out to Samantha Betts. Betts into the corner to Wood. Now she'll drive towards the lane, trying to get it to the rim. She gets blocked going in, and the ball goes out of bounds on Model. So it's coming back to Temple. So a tough possession there for the Lady Devils, and the score remains 12-10 in favor of Model. Temple with possession of the basketball, ready to bring it up the floor. It is in the hands of Malone, who has 9 points in the game. She's made 1 3, a couple of 2s, and also knocked down a couple of free throws, and that one's going to be left short, and she's earned another trip to the charity stripe. So Malone, who has made 2 free throws out of her 2 attempts, is going back to the charity stripe. She's a good free throw shooter. So with just under 7 minutes to go here in the second quarter, more free throws coming up here for Temple, and that one is right through, as the first 3 were. So Malone knocks down another free throw, her 3rd in a row, and that brings Temple within a point of tying up this ball game. So we've already seen a couple of ties and a few lead changes here in our first 9 minutes of the game. Second shot is through as well. That's 4 in a row for Malone, and indeed it is a tie ball game. 12 apiece. Sasha Wood across the timeline, dribbles right, gives it off to Samantha Betts, who's now going to drive right towards the lane, gives it to Sanders, kick out to Addie Mathis. Good defense right now for Temple. A lob underneath to Sanders. She's double teamed, gets it to the rim though, misses the shot, and Sanders is going to go to the free throw line. And Sanders, great perimeter shooting for Sanders there in the first quarter of the game. She knocked down 3 threes in the first quarter and has 9 points in the game. Leading scorer right there, right now though, is Taylor Malone for Temple, who has 11 points. But now Sanders makes a free throw, and if she can make this free throw, she'll also have 11 points. And by the way, Models regained the lead. Second shot on the way. That one's off the back of the rim. The score remains 13-12 in favor of Model. Temple now has the ball. They'll bring it back the other way. Malone's got it, the senior. She crosses over the timeline. Malone in their previous game picked up 11 points against Haralson County in a game that they would win 41-22. So everything was clicking in that game, especially on the defensive side of the ball, holding that Haralson County team to 22 points. Temple with the basketball, 5 seconds on the shot clock. They got to make a move. Now it's 3. They drive into the lane, kick out pass, and they are not going to get a shot off. That's a shot clock violation against Temple and a turnover, and the Lady Devils will get the ball, leading at 13-12 with 6:06 remaining here in the first half of play. Cam Sanders is going to check out, and she goes immediately to the locker room. So inbound pass. Sasha Wood is going to bring it up the floor. She's across the timeline, sends it left wing side over to Addie Mathis, who surveys the floor, trying to find the open player. Is going to find Wells. Wells at the top of the key, gives it off to Betts. Betts now up top to Sasha Wood, dribbles between the circles, now on to Betts to the near side, standing out around the perimeter. And now she'll work towards her left, trying to get it inside. Wells has got it double teamed underneath. They send it right wing side. Now Sasha Wood are going to lob it back up top to Betts. And this Temple team's done a good job protecting the lane inside against this model offense. Here's a scoop shot on the other end after the turnover, and a transition opportunity is missed there by Temple. It's coming back to the Lady Devils. And so Eva Pointer to bring it up the floor. And one of the things that Temple has done a great job of on defense here against this model basketball team is the double team underneath the basket and keeping those bigs from getting easy shots near the rim. Right now, Sasha Wood's got it on the far side in front of the Temple bench. Now works her way towards the right wing side, goes baseline, feeds it up top, gets it to Pointer, ends up on the floor. Now back up top. Good recovery there for the Lady Devils. Here's Samantha Betts with it on the left wing side. Going to go to work on the defender. Back up top to Pointer at the high post, who's going to work inside, kicks it back out, trying to get an open look on the perimeter. There's nothing there. The ball's going to be deflected out of bounds there by Temple, so it stays with the Lady Devils. Really good defense here for Temple. I've definitely caused some issues here for Model getting looks here in this first half. Inbound pass is going to go to Betts. Betts works around a screen from Pointer, takes it all the way in herself, misses the shot. The putback is going to go from Wells. She picks up her first bucket of the game, and now Model leads it by 3 points, 15-12, 4:43 left to go in the first half. Temple with a basketball. They send it right wing side. Now trying to work it back up top. The ball was deflected, and stepping on the sidelines on the near side was Bisping, and that's going to be a turnover there for Temple. It's coming back to Lady Devils, so trying to build off a little bit of momentum here as we edge towards the middle of the second quarter of the ball game. Betts has got it on the left wing side after the pass from Wood. She'll set a high screen. They get it down low to Pointer. Pointer turns, puts up the shot a little bit too strong off the backboard, tries to get her on rebound, keeps it in bounds, ricochets off a couple of players, and coming in and forcing the jump ball was Jada Wells. Great aggressive play there to force that jump ball. Possession arrows pointing in Temple's direction. I thought the call was a jump ball, but they hadn't turned the possession arrow back. Yeah, now they have. It was a jump ball. Ball's going to be poked out of bounds there by Sasha Wood. And so we'll get ready for Temple to inbound the ball with 4:12 left to go in the first half of the ball game. Model leads at 15-12. Outlet pass underneath is going to roll out of bounds. It's coming back to Lady Devils as Temple gets a little bit out of control trying to get it across the floor here. Sasha Wood gets it into Samantha Betts. Betts going to bring it across the timeline. Now looks off to the right side, works around a high screen from Pointer, puts it up high off the glass, misses the shot. Jada Wells attempting to get the rebound, gets fouled by Temple, and that was on the floor. So we're going to get ready for Model to inbound the basketball underneath their own basket with just under 4 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Model leading it 15-12. Inbound pass is deflected there by number 10, Anna Howell, the senior here for Temple, and so Model will try to get it in bounds once again. Sasha Wood will switch to the other side of the official, surveys the floor, trying to find the open Lady Devil, and she's going to find Pointer, who picks up the inbound pass and now hands it off to Samantha Betts. The lob underneath, trying to get it to Wells between two defenders, and she gets pushed But I believe they called it out of bounds, and now Sasha Wood will inbound the ball again for the Lady Devils. Going to find Betts on the right wing side, now drives in, trying to bounce it underneath. It is deflected off a Temple player into the hands of Mathis. Here's Pointer putting it up too strong, trying to track it down was Wells, but it was deflected out of bounds here by Temple. Cam Sanders is going to check back into the game for Wells. Womack is going to check back into the game for Addie Mathis. So on the floor right now for Model, you've got Wood, Sanders, Betts, Pointer, and Womack. Model ready to inbound the ball, get it in just in time. Betts has got it back into the corner to Woods, underneath to Sanders. Is going to kick it back out. Open look for Wood. That caroms across the rim, and the putback is going to go there for Georgia Womack. First bucket of the game for her, and Model's got the biggest lead of the night at a 17-12 clip. Across the timeline go the Temple Lady Tigers. They've got the ball, feeding it inside. Good job there by Sasha Wood to keep her out of the lane and forces a travel against Temple, and that's a turnover. So it feels like the momentum right now has really shifted in the Model Lady Devils end of things. 3:12 left to go in the second quarter. Model with a 5-point lead is going to bring it up the floor in the hands of Sasha Wood. She fires to the right wing side. Georgia Womack now with the ball in front of the Temple bench. Now back outside they go to Betts, around to Wood, down to the low block they go to Pointer, back up top to Georgia Womack. Little head fake there, tries to work around a screen from Pointer. Ball loose on the floor. She lost her dribble there, and now Temple trying to score on a transition bucket, and they do. Anna Howell picks up her first bucket of the game, and that cuts it back to a 3-point ball game. Betts underneath to Sanders. Sanders tries to back her way in, kicks out. There's a three from Wood, bounces high off the back of the rim. Rebound's going to go to Temple after a one-and-done trip for the Lady Devils. And now Temple is going to call a timeout. Coach Shirley would like to have a little conversation with his team. So 2:27 left to go, second quarter. Model leads at 17-14 over Temple. Let's step out for a 30-second timeout.
If you ever find yourself moving through these doors,
We're gonna take care of you.
if you ever hear these sounds, or see these lights, may you find our caring team of ER experts all around you. This is the human spirit at its best. Advent Health. Feel whole.
We welcome you back into Woodard Gymnasium, where we've had a really good one almost all the way through our first half. Model leads at 17-14 over Temple. As we mentioned in our pregame, Model came into the game at 9-6. Meanwhile, Temple 11-5. So two really good basketball teams with winning records. And looking at how they matched up, we really felt like this would be a pretty tight contest, and it certainly has been for the first half. Hard to believe we're just 2 minutes and 27 seconds away from the end of this first half. It's flown by. But right now, Temple will send it into the backcourt here to Malone, who's going to bring it up the floor. Their floor general. She's across the timeline. Going to send it to the near side, gets it over to Parham. Now underneath they go. Here's a shot off the glass and a whistle and a foul. So we're going to see Malone going back to the free throw line, and she is a really good free throw shooter. She's one of those folks that when she gets up there and steps to the line, you know it's got a pretty darn good chance of going in. She has made 4 in a row, 4 of 4 here in this game, gets ready for her 5th and 6th attempts of the game. The first one is up, and it is through. 5 of 5. Nobody here is surprised that that free throw went in from what we've seen tonight here from Malone. So that cuts it to a 2-point ball game. Model up narrowly, 17-15. We've got 2:16 left to go here in the second quarter. One more coming up here from Malone, and that one is also through. So 6 of 6 from the charity stripe. That'll make your head coach, Jake Shirley, really happy. Across the timeline go the Lady Devils. Georgia Womack in front of the Temple bench is going to fire it underneath here to Pointer, who tries to dribble baseline, has the pass stripped away by Davis. Outlet pass across, picked off, nearly picked off, but it stays with Temple. They're able to retain possession. And now Model's defense will spread out a bit. They're going to send it to the right wing side. Now out to left wing they go to Davis, who drives in the lane, puts up the shot and misses. And that was after a travel anyway, so it was going to be a turnover regardless of whether she made the shot or not. So Model's got the ball, leading it by 1 point, 17-16, 1:40 left to go in the second quarter. Samantha Betts across the midcourt stripe, dribbles left, picked up her dribble, sent it right wing side, got it over to Cam Sanders, now to Diamond, who's deep in the corner on the right wing, going to drive towards the lane, and we're going to have a foul that is going to be on the floor against Temple. I believe they got Malone with that one. They did, and so Samantha Betts is set to trigger an emotion here for the Lady Devils. Run down the scoring during our halftime show today. Also, we'll take some opportunity there to recognize the crew involved in the broadcast tonight. I always want to make sure that they get recognized for the hard work that they do. It's a great team. Always fun to work with this team, too. Georgia Womack has got the basketball, going to work into the lane. Scoop shot, and that is through. Georgia Womack has picked up 2 buckets here in the second quarter, getting some good minutes here for the Lady Devils, and the Lady Devils are back to a 3-point lead. 19-16, we're officially now to the 1 minute mark, so under a minute to go here in our first half. Temple's got the basketball at the high post, now going to work it into the lane. Bounce pass after a backdoor cut. Great sequence, but they couldn't find the finish they were looking for. Here are the Lady Devils on the other end. There's Samantha Betts with it, covered up by the defender, kicks it out, gets it over to Cam Sanders, who made 3 threes in the first quarter of the game. Now to Betts, going to work towards the free throw line. The runner inside, misses the shot. Womack working hard to get the rebound. Nearly had it, but handed it right back to Temple. Shot off the glass, and a transition bucket there for Parham. And Temple's cut it back to a 1-point game with 22 seconds left to go. And Model can go for the last shot if they'd like to before halftime. Cam Sanders has got it, sends it right wing side. Georgia Womack with the basketball, 13 seconds to work with. Pointer going to work towards the baseline, now rolls back around to the middle of the lane, kicks it out. Womack's got the ball, 4 seconds on the clock. Now to Pointer, drives in, puts up the shot just before the buzzer, and it is a miss, and that is the end of the first half. The Lady Devils will have a 19-18 lead over the Temple Tigers here at halftime. We're going to take a 3-minute break, send it back to the studio, catch our breath. We'll come back with a halftime show inside Woodard Gymnasium after a 3-minute break.
Welcome to Shannon Pharmacy, proudly serving the Shannon community since 2004. We're your small, full-service pharmacy with a big heart, offering friendly, professional service and a caring community feel. Whether you need prescriptions filled, expert advice, or health products, we're here for you. Experience the difference at Shannon Pharmacy, where your health is our priority. Visit us today. WC Timber has been serving the Northwest Georgia and Northeast Alabama area since 1991. As a complete tree and timber service, WC Timber can handle thinning and clear cutting, tree chipping, stump removal, and storm damage, as well as bucket truck and crane services. For more information, visit them on the web at wctimber.com or give them a call at area code 706-238-1214. WC Timber and Tree Service.
You look exhausted.
Dude, my to-do list got the best of me. I finally sharpened the blade, trimmed the yard, raked the leaves, and then I mowed.
Yeah, me too.
Get out. You're not even breaking a sweat.
I know. My grasshopper trimmed around the yard, power vacked the leaves, and then mowed. I did all of it without leaving my seat.
I gotta get a grasshopper.
Finish fall cleanup and be ready for winter with a grasshopper mower.
Here we go again.
If you ever find yourself moving through these doors,
We're gonna take care of you.
if you ever hear these sounds, or see these lights, may you find our caring team of ER experts all around you. This is the human spirit at its best. Advent Health. Feel whole.
hold up.
Welcome back in, everybody. We are about 6 minutes and 40 seconds away from the start of the second half between the Model Lady Devils and the Temple Lady Tigers. Very tight first half of the basketball game. Model went into the locker room with a 19-18 lead over Temple. Here's how it broke down quarter to quarter. Model would have a 2-point 12-10 lead after the first quarter. Temple would outscore Model 8-7 in the second quarter. Hence, we have a 1-point game here at halftime. Now, here's how the scoring would break down individually. We'll start with the trailing Temple Lady Tigers here playing Model on the road. Anna Howell would pick up 2 points there. Her bucket came in the second quarter. 3 points there from Kiki Parham. She would pick up 1 free throw made in the first quarter and a field goal there in the second quarter. The leading scorer for the Lady Tigers and the game overall is Taylor Malone, who picked up 13 points, spread out fairly evenly between well, not really when I look at it. I was going to say spread out fairly evenly between the first and second quarters. She would actually have 9 points in the first quarter of the ball game, then pick up 4 points in the second quarter. But she would score all 4 of her points from the second quarter from the free throw line. Then she had 2 made free throws there in the first quarter of the ball game. So she was 6 of 6 from the charity stripe there in between the first and second quarters of the ball game. So outstanding free throw shooting and play overall there from Malone for the Temple Lady Tigers. Meanwhile, for the Lady Devils, they would pick up 4 points from Georgia Womack, 1 point from Sasha Wood, 2 points for each Eva Pointer and also Jada Wells. And the leading scorer there from Model there in the first half of the ball game was Cam Sanders. She did pretty much most of her damage there in the first quarter of the ball game, and she had a sequence there where she knocked down 3 threes in pretty close proximity to the other in terms of where they were shot from on the floor and then also time-wise. So she had 9 points in the first quarter, a little bit quiet there in the second quarter, had the 1 free throw that she made, but had 10 points and leads the Lady Devils. So Lady Devils had 5 players that got into the scoring, 3 players for the Temple Lady Tigers. And again, here at halftime, Model leads it by a score of 19-18. Let's recognize the crew here. Of course, mid-court cameras, if you're watching on the video tonight, we've got Bennett Abernathy and Clay Hardiker. On Pan, Tilt, and Zoom, PTZ, and also scoreboard, it's Levi Miller. Replay tonight is Nathan Patterson, the guru behind the Northwest Georgia Media brand and also broadcast. And the director tonight is Mike Garrett, always keeping things under control down there in the trailer. And commentary is me, Matt Davis from WLAQ. Glad to be with you tonight. We've got board operator back at WLAQ, Lynn Butler, and we appreciate Lynn being there as always. So that's the crew for tonight. Do want to recognize the sponsors. Again, on instant replay, it's brought to you by Smith & Wood Wealth Management. Remaining sponsors here for the video broadcast tonight: Mathis Trailers and Equipment Sales, Snodgrass and Robinson Plastic Surgery Specialists. Also brought to you by Advent Health Redmond, Shannon Pharmacy, Dogwood Books, the Herb Shop on Broad, and I heard him talking about having some Duffy's Deli for dinner down there in the trailer, getting ready for the ball game. And my belly started rumbling, growling a little bit. That's some good stuff. I need to make it over there. It's been kind of a little while since I've been over there. But also with us for the radio broadcast tonight is our sponsor, Mathis Trailers and Equipment Sales. We're going to take a 3-minute timeout. 3-minute timeout. We'll be back for the start of the second half. Model leads it 19-18.
They call it Mo Day, a time of fanfare and pride, and another week with the neighborhood's best yard, because you drafted the MVP of all mowers. A comfortable seat and adjustable controls bring the battle to your turf, not your backside. Ride like the wind on your solid steel stallion and give the fans something to cheer about, because it's your day. It's Mo Day.
At Smith & Wood Wealth Management, we're proud to be part of the Rome community, where the same teamwork that wins on the court inspires our approach to financial planning and investment. Just like the Model High School Blue Devils and Lady Devils, success starts with a solid game plan. Like a trusted coach, we provide insight and guidance so you can pursue your financial goals with confidence. The Smith & Wood financial planning process centers on understanding your unique goals and creating strategies that balance enjoyment today with preparations for tomorrow's challenges. We would love to work with you to build a game plan for the season ahead. WC Timber has been serving the Northwest Georgia and Northeast Alabama area since 1991. As a complete tree and timber service, WC Timber can handle thinning and clear cutting, tree chipping, stump removal, and storm damage, as well as bucket truck and crane services. For more information, visit them on the web at wctimber.com or give them a call at area code 706-238-1214. WC Timber and Tree Service.
As we open our third frame of the basketball game, from the elbow, Cam Sanders knocks down a quick bucket to get things started off here to start the second half, and Model has taken a 3-point lead, 21-18, just underway in the third quarter here between Model and Temple. Model with a 1-point lead going into the quarter. Again, quick bucket there from Cam Sanders right out of the gate to bring that lead to 3. Shot off the glass on the other end. That was Haley Davis picking up her first bucket of the game. And that cuts it back to a 1-point ball game. Here is Samantha Betts. Now back out to Sanders. Thought about another 3 there. That would have been her 4th if she was able to take and make the shot. Here is Wood. Now to Sanders in the corner from Betts. Sanders going to lob it underneath to Wells. Puts it up. Gets blocked. With the block shot is going to be Haley Davis. Coming out with the ball is going to be Temple. Bringing up the floor is Malone. She has crossed the midcourt stripe, had a whale of the first quarter. Malone did with 13 points and was just stellar from the free throw line. Ball was poked out of bounds. It looks like it's going to stay with Temple, though. So to inbound the ball is going to be Howell. Howell surveys the floor and had a little contact away from the ball there. It looks like that's going to be a foul that's going to go against Model. And so the Temple Lady Tigers will try again to get the ball inbound. It looks like they're going to send it in over to Parham. Parham goes underneath baseline, trying to feed it to a teammate. Diving for the ball was Wells from Model. Ball goes out of bounds. And now Temple is going to inbound the ball underneath their own basket. So kind of a wild sequence on this end, on this possession here from Temple. They'll send it in the left wing side. Now back up towards the top of the key with a couple of passes. They get it over to Parham. Parham backs up, resets the offense here for Temple. Now they go towards the right wing side. Kick out, no look there, so she's going to go to work inside. Bounces off the Model defender, no whistle. And coming out with the ball is the Lady Devils. Sasha Wood takes the pass, gives it off to Betts up at the top of the key. Now left wing side, they go to Mathis. Lady Devils with possession of the ball, going to work it inside to Betts. Underneath, gets it over to Sanders, splits defenders, and that is going to be a violation in the lane there for Model. That'll be a turnover coming back to Temple. And so the Lady Tigers set to inbound the basketball, trailing only now by 1 point. Model leads at 21-20. We got 6:10 left in the third quarter. There's the inbound pass. Going to be a little bit of pressure here from a few Lady Devils on defense as Temple tries to work around it. Lost the ball. Good defense there by the Lady Devils. Sasha Wood picks it up. Addie Mathis, great defense there for the Lady Devils as well. Sasha Wood in between the circles now with the basketball. Looks left. Ball is going to be poked out of bounds there by Parham. Good hands there by the defense there of Temple. And now Sasha Wood will inbound in between the scorers table and the model bench. Wood takes the pass from Betts, fires it underneath. Now they're going to go up top. Now back outside to Addie Mathis. Mathis with the ball, going to lob it underneath, trying to penetrate and get the ball to Wells, but it sails out of bounds. And now we get ready for Howell to inbound the ball here for Temple, who trail by 1 point. Not a lot of scoring here in the first couple of minutes of our third quarter, but plenty of action. These teams are getting after it. Temple with the basketball in front of their own bench. Now back up top they go. Going to work towards the low block. Shot off the glass and through. And making that bucket is Howell, her second of the game. She scored in the second quarter and now in the third quarter. Crisp pass to left wing side to Betts. Now on to Jada Wells. Wells is going to need some help. Going to fire it up top. Gets it over to Mathis. Now she's going to send it to the near side. Gets it over to Sasha Wood. Dribbles to the low block. Kicks it back out to Betts. Drives baseline. Gets it over to Wells. In the lane. Nearly gets stripped. Here's Betts to help out and scores. Samantha Betts gets it to the rim and scores. And now Model is back to a 1 point, 23-22 lead over Temple. Temple with the basketball between the circles, trying to work a high screen. There's a long three, and that one is through. Good looking shot. Second made three of the game by Malone, and she's got 16 points, leads all scorers in the basketball game. Samantha Betts takes the pass on the near side. Working from left to right are the Lady Devils. Cam Sanders backs up. Now dribbles, resets the offense here for the Lady Devils. Going to work into the lane, leaves it off for Wells, puts up the shot, and it rattles in. Jada Wells picks up her second bucket of the game, and we're tied back up at 25 apiece after Temple had taken the lead very briefly. Temple with the ball, going to try to get to a cutting player underneath. Good sequence there. Shot on the way is too strong. Missed everything. Here's the putback. It won't go. Ball is going to be poked out of bounds. And they say it was last touched there by Temple. Model going to make a couple of substitutions before inbounding the ball after the turnover. And so back into the game, you've got Diamond and Pointer. So for Model, it's now Sanders, Betts, Diamond, Pointer, and Wells. And for Temple, who's on defense right now, they've got Parham, also Malone. We'll catch the other three in just a couple of moments. You've also got Howell out there here for Temple. Long three on the way. That one rattles off the rim. A missed shot there by Sanders. Rebound's going to be taken by Rigdon, who's also on the floor. And then one more player we'll give you in just a second. And we will have everybody that's on the floor there for Temple. The other one is Ralston. So Jaden Ralston in off the bench here for Temple. Took me a little longer to get to it with Temple still learning the name. Shot off the glass and through. Howell. That's a name we've learned pretty quickly. She's got 6 points in the game, ties the game back up, 27 apiece. Been a great ball game almost through three quarters. We're down to the last 3 minutes of the third frame. Here's Sanders with the ball, trying to get it underneath to a cutting Gentry, who's in off the bench here for the Lady Devils, and a timeout's going to be called by Coach Sally Eccles and the Lady Devils. 3:05 left to go third quarter. Tied up at 27 apiece. It's Model and Temple girls basketball. More when we come back in 30 seconds.
If you ever find yourself moving through these doors,
we're going to take care of you.
If you ever hear these sounds or see these lights, may you find our caring team of ER experts all around you. This is the human spirit at its best. Advent Health. Feel whole.
Locked up at 27 apiece are the Temple Lady Tigers visiting the Model Lady Devils tonight. We've got 3:05 left to go in the third quarter. Model had just taken a timeout, so we get ready for Temple to inbound the ball out of the break. To handle the inbound duties is going to be Anna Howell, who's picked up 6 points between the second and third quarters of the ball game. Has done a great job here for this Temple Lady Tigers team on both sides of the floor. Malone, who has 16 points and leads all scorers, has the ball. Is going to get it off to Howell. Now back over to Parham. Parham is going to send it to the far side, gets it over to Rigdon. And now the ball goes out of bounds, deflected by Model. So we get ready for Temple to inbound the ball with 2:48 left to go in the third quarter. Hard to believe it. We're already almost down to the final quarter of this super exciting varsity basketball game for you tonight between Temple and Model, and putting on a show for us tonight. It's been fun. Here's a pass to the inside. Shot is almost wedged between the backboard and the rim. Sanders came out with the rebound. It's going to leave it off for Betts, who's across the timeline just in time. Sends it near side to Emily Gentry, who's going to break towards the baseline. Little runner for her. Is going to roll across the rim. Rebound, though, is going to go to Model and Wells. They will set up their half-court offense. Here's Cam Sanders working it towards the right wing side. Now going to send it around to Samantha Betts, directing traffic. Dribbles back between the circles, does Betts. Now it's going to go to work around a screen set by Pointer. Feeds it underneath to Pointer, a little give and go. And now going to have a jump ball. Possession arrow points in Temple's direction this time, so they get ready to inbound the ball with everything knotted up at 27 apiece with 2:01 left to go in the third quarter. Boys basketball for you tonight. Same two schools. It's going to be Model and Temple. Model boys are 12-1, riding a 5-game win streak into the game tonight. Temple lost, well, actually they won their last game. They are 8-8 on the season, so that should be a fun battle. There have been some really, really good basketball games played between those two teams in the last couple of years, including just a phenomenal region championship last year on the boys side that went to overtime. It was a 1-point win for the Model Blue Devils. So a whistle and a foul is going to go against Model, and that is going to send Aubrey Rigdon to the free throw line here late in this third quarter of the basketball game in a tie ball game. So she's got an opportunity here to take the lead for Temple, and that one rattles off the back of the rim, so the score stays tied at 27 apiece. Yeah, 1:53 left to go in the third quarter. Second shot on the way from Rigdon is on the way, and that one rattles out and then rattles back in, if you will. So she knocks down one of the two free throws, and Temple takes a 1-point lead, 28-27. Here's Samantha Betts into the lane, Euro step, misses the shot, gets her own rebound though. Ball loose on the floor, diving for it was Betts, and rolls out of bounds. And so this is coming back to Temple, but you got to love the effort of Betts there, diving after the ball, trying to keep possession here for the Lady Devils. Great effort. I want to invite you to tune in tomorrow to WLAQ, one of the sponsors that we talked about tonight on the video side, Dogwood Books. The owner, Kenneth Studdard, he's on the radio with me every Wednesday from 9 until 10. You want to talk about a guy that knows a lot of stuff about a lot of things. Well, that's Kenneth Studdard, and he's going to be on, and well, we're going to talk about a lot of stuff and things. Should be a lot of fun. He brings in a book of the week, and they've got over 20,000 books at the bookstore, so we've got topics, just endless topics. Always fun to hear what he has to say about that and sports and other things. So tune in tomorrow for Good Morning, or later this morning in Rome, after Good Morning Rome from 9 until 10. But make sure that you're tuned in for Good Morning Rome from 7 till 9 with my sister, Elizabeth. All right, Temple with the basketball, leading it by 1, 28-27, 1:10 left to go here in the third frame. Ball is stolen away. Coming out with it is Pointer. She's everywhere on defense, it feels like. It is poked free and out of bounds over to Coach Dooley on the Model bench there. Good hands there by Malone, and we get ready for Model to inbound the basketball after the deflection out of bounds. Womack sends it in motion, gets it over to Sasha Wood. She dribbles between the circles, now works right, now goes left. Gives it back to Womack. Under a minute to play here in the third quarter, Model down by 1. Here's Cam Sanders, going to spin around into the lane, kisses it off the glass and through. Nifty little move there by Cam Sanders. Comes up with the finish, and Model takes the lead back, 29-28. 40 seconds to go. in the third quarter. Here's Temple into the lane. Nice pass there by Taylor Malone. Gets it over to Haley. I want to make sure I'm right on who scored that point. It was Davis who knocks it down after the nice feed there by Malone. 20 seconds left to go on the clock. Temple takes the lead back. Here's the three on the other end. Clanks off the front of the rim. Here's a scoop shot after the rebound for Sasha Wood. And as you can hear from the reaction of the crowd, if you're listening on the radio, she made it. Turnover. Model with the ball back. Off the backboard. No good off the front of the rim. A whistle and a foul. And Cam Sanders is going to the free throw line. Model has a 31-30 lead. Can add to it with 2 shots forthcoming here for Sanders. Only the second trip to the charity stripe here for Cam here in the ball game. 3 trips to the line for Model overall. First shot is off the back of the rim and it won't go. So Model leads at 31-30. 2.2 ticks left on the clock in the third quarter. Almost down to the final 8 minutes of this one. And it has been tight from the jump. Second shot on the way, and that one's off the front of the rim. Ball is kept in bounds. It goes to Temple, though, and that will expire the end of the third quarter there. So at the end of the third, Model will lead it by 1, 31-30 over Temple. Let's send it back to the studio for 1 minute. We'll come back for the final frame after this 1 minute break.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Instant Replay is brought to you by Smith & Wood Wealth Management. We also thank Mathis Trailer and Equipment, Shannon Pharmacy, WC Timber, Snodgrass and Robinson Plastic Surgery Specialists, Advent Health Redmond, The Herb Shop on Broad, Dogwood Books, and Duffy's Deli. Please support the businesses that support us.
Leads it 31-30 as we enter our final frame. Temple will inbound the basketball. They have it in front of the Temple bench on their side of the floor, working from right to left. They're going to send it back up top, getting it over to Malone, who has had just an unbelievable game. Ball is going to be nearly stolen away by Sasha Wood. Stays with Temple, though. Here's a shot off the glass. Does that open up some space on the floor? Howell is able to score, and that gives Temple a 1-point, 32-31 lead. Cam Sanders with it on the left wing side, puts up the little jump shot, knocks it down. Sanders has got 16 points. Model takes the lead back. And I'm not sure how many lead changes we've had in this game, but it's got to be very close, if not double digits. It's been pretty incredible how many lead changes we've had. Right wing side, they go to Temple, drive baseline, puts up the shot, misses. Samantha Betts has got the rebound, going to bounce it across, gets it to Wood, who goes in and lays it in off the glass. Great teamwork there between Betts and Sasha Wood to get the open look, sharing the ball. The Model takes a 35-32 lead with 6 minutes and 50 seconds left here in the final frame. Temple with the basketball, wants the three-point look, left it short. Kind of shot that early part of the shot clock, did Temple. And Model turned it over out of bounds. So Temple set to inbound the ball, trailing by 3 points. Surveying the floor is going to be Howell. She's going to send it into the left wing side. One hand shot, and did she just make that? What happened? Yes, she did. My goodness. Malone now with 19 points. I want to see another look at that. I feel like my eyes deceived me on that one. Here's Samantha Betts backing her way into the paint, kicks it out, gets it over to Cam Sanders, leaves that one short on the 3 attempt. And going up with the putback is Jada Wells. She gets fouled, is going to go to the free throw line. Going to get another look at that shot on the other end. It looked like she was trying to lob a pass and ended up shooting it right through one-handed. I'm not sure if that's what happened, but that's what it looked like to me. First shot is on the way, and that was going to rattle in there for Jada Wells. Gets ready for another one. That'll tie it up at 35 apiece with 6:11 left to go in the ball game. One more coming up for Wells. With this one, we can have another lead change here. Shot on the way, and that one bounces high off the back of the rim. Rebound's going to be picked up by Rigdon and Temple. Lady Tigers are going to bring it back the other way. By the way, Temple's in their black uniforms with gold letters and numbers and white trim. Meanwhile, Model is in their white home uniforms with blue letters and numbers and red trim. Both teams looking sharp tonight. Great looking uniforms. Ball is stolen away. Here comes Wells. She'll back up. Thought for a second there might have an opportunity at a transition bucket. Defense was getting back pretty quick, so good decision by Wells. Driving in was Wood. Ball was stripped and knocked out of bounds by Temple, so it stays with Model. Model with a 1.36-35 lead as they get ready to inbound the ball. Temple is going to have Haley Davis check back into the game, the junior. Inbound pass is going to go to Wells. They send it to the near side. Addie Mathis handling the ball, gives it off to Betts, shakes off a defender, goes in the lane, bounce pass to the left wing side, now on to Wood, drives the lane. Kind of too far under the basket when she launched the shot, but she draws the contact, so we're going to see free throws coming up here for Sasha Wood. This will be the third and fourth attempts for Wood, the senior here in this ball game. She is 1 of 2 from the stripes so far. First shot on the way of this pair, and that one's going to rattle in off the back of the rim. So one more coming up here for Wood. They now have a 2-point lead. It can be a 3-point game if she can knock down this second free throw. Wood goes through a routine, puts it up. That rattles off the back of the rim a little too strong that time. Rim not as kind as it was on the previous shot. Rebound is going to end up in the hands of Temple. Lady Tigers bring it back the other way as we close in quickly on the 5-minute mark of the ball game. Dribbling in between the circles is Malone. Now going to go to work on Sanders. Tries to split 2 defenders. They call a jump ball. I thought we were going to see a traveling call there. Certainly not arguing with the official call, but really felt like we were going to see the travel. Oh, I'm just going to be honest with you folks. I think that's kind of a no-doubter right there. I think they missed that one. You don't hear me say that often, but Cam Sanders going to inbound the basketball to Betts. Now over to Sasha Wood. Here comes Wood into the lane, puts it up off the glass, and it is through. So Wood gets the shot, draws the foul, and has a 3-point opportunity. And right now, Model's got a 4-point lead. I think the biggest lead of the game has been 5, unless I'm badly mistaken. That one rattles in. And now the score moves to 40-35. 5 minutes to go in the ball game. Temple inbounds the ball. Model with a 5-point lead. A little bit of pressure here on Temple, as this game has been super close throughout. We'll get ready for Anna Howell, the senior, to inbound the ball here for Temple in just a moment with just under 5 minutes to go here in the ball game. Going to have some substitution happening. Davis takes the inbound pass. Going to feed it up top to Parham. Now back to the right wing side. They go to Howell. Stolen away. Mathis had it momentarily. Ball loose on the floor. It'll be picked up by Temple. They'll retain possession of the basketball. They send it to the near side. Launches the 3. That is missed, and she stepped on the baseline as she was trying to keep it in bound. Did Howell, so it's coming back to the Lady Devils. So Cam Sanders set to inbound the ball with 4:39 left to go. Right now, Model with a 5-point 40-35 lead, trying to bounce back from their loss last Friday against Sonoraville. Try to get one at home tonight. Sasha Wood with the basketball, leaves it off for Cam Sanders. She will go to work towards the low block, feeds it back out to Betts, who goes right into the lane, puts it off the glass. Strong move, couldn't get the finish though. And the score remains 40-35 after the Lady Devils come up empty on that previous trip down the floor. Malone with the basketball, sends it left wing side, gets it to Howell, drives in, puts it up, little runner, misses the shot. Ball is poked out of bounds there by Temple, so it's coming back to the Blue Devils. Checking back into the game is Georgia Womack. And also Eva Pointer going to check in, checking out Wells and Addie Mathis. Almost halfway through the fourth quarter of the basketball game. Inbound pass, and a blocking foul is going to be called against the Lady Devils. I believe they got Wood on that one. So we get ready for Temple to inbound the basketball. Howell will handle the inbound duties here for the Lady Tigers. Checking out of the game is going to be Ralston there for Temple. We'll give you a floor check for them in just a couple of moments. Inbound pass is going to go and be stripped by the Lady Devils. Here come the Lady Devils on the other end. Sasha Wood has the ball stripped, and out of bounds goes Temple, so it's going to stay with the Lady Devils. Under 4 minutes to go in the game, just under 4 minutes to go, and we're going to have a timeout. So we're going to take it with them. 3:58 left to go in the ball game. Model leads at 40-35. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Ready now to resume play. Both teams still huddling up, making some decisions on what they're going to do on offense and defense respectively, with just under 4 minutes to go in the ball game. Model leads at 40-35 over the Temple Lady Tigers. Two really good girls basketball teams locking horns in this one tonight, and it has been a super entertaining game with a tremendous amount of action. I'm enjoying the PA songs too tonight. We just had a little Rob bass. It Takes Two. That takes you back for sure. Heard that in a lot of gymnasiums back in the day. Being dragged from court to court when my dad was broadcasting basketball games. Always a lot of fun. Here's Sasha Wood. Now drives towards the low block, kicks it out to Georgia Womack. Now on to Sasha Wood. Now around to Betts. Betts surveys the floor, trying to find an open teammate's going to dribble, goes underneath, gets it to Cam Sanders and lays it in off the glass with a little English. Cam Sanders having a well of a game. She's got 18. Model leads at 42-35. Temple with the basketball, now trailing by 7. Biggest lead of the game for either team. Temple with the ball on the near side. They're going to send it underneath to a cutting player. Nice feed and score. Howell is able to score after the great pass there from Bisping. A little bit of pressure here from Temple. By the way, that bucket cut it back to a 42-37 ball game. Here's Sanders on the other end. Feeds it out to Womack. Wide open three. Bounces high off the rim. Trying to collect the rebound is Pointer. Ball loose on the floor. Pointer dives in and grabs a hold of it. And a timeout is called just in time by Jake Shirley, the head coach of the Temple Lady Tigers, for them to retain possession of the basketball. So Model leads at 42-37, a 5-point lead with 3:03 left to go. This is going to be a 30-second timeout, so we're just going to keep it right here through this one. But we do want to let you know that this is the last broadcast of the week for Northwest Georgia Media and WLAQ as far as high school is concerned. But on Friday, both model teams are headed over to Darlington, so that should be a lot of fun. Make sure to head on over to the Huffman Center and watch some good high school hoops coming up on Friday night. Next broadcast will be next Tuesday, a week from today at 6 and 7:30. Girls and boys playing against Bremen. There will be live stream and radio coverage of those two games, so really looking forward to that. I think Ian Griffin will be back with me for those ones. All right, 3 minutes to go in the ball game. Temple takes possession of the ball out of the timeout. They're going to send it to the near side. Bisping receives the pass. She's between the circles. Now will dribble with the basketball. Looks like man-to-man coverage here from Model. Ball is going to be picked off in the air. Georgia Womack coming up with a big turnover for the Lady Devils at crunch time here. Here is Samantha Betts working it off the left wing side. Now back up to Sasha Wood between the circles. They'll set up their half-court offense. Now into the corner, they get it over to Cam Sanders. Now at the elbow to Pointer, who drives in, gets blocked, but also a lot of contact there, so she's going to the free throw line after a fairly hard foul, even though the player that committed the crime did not agree based on facial expressions. But going to the free throw line, earning it, is going to be Eva Pointer. And this is her first trip to the stripe in the ball game. That one rattles off the side of the rim. Score remains in favor of Model, though, 42-37 with 2:26 left to go in the ball game. So obviously not out of the woods by a long shot here with that much time left to go in the ball game. Shot on the way, and it looks like there was a lane violation. It did go in, but it doesn't matter because the lane violation against Model. So the score remains 42-37. And 2:25 left to go in the ball game as Temple brings it up the floor in the hands of Malone, who scored 19 points and leads all scorers in the basketball game. So Malone with it, dribbles off the left wing side, around the perimeter, being guarded by Wood. Betts now guarding the ball handler, who goes in and gets fouled. I get another look here at who the foul is on in just a couple of moments. I think it was on Womack, but free throws coming up here for Parham. So Parham at the stripe. First shot on the way, and that one is through. So she knocks down the first. That cuts it back to a 4-point ball game. I think they got Betts on the foul, rather. Yeah, it was Betts, no doubt. Well, it could have been. Second shot on the way, and that one's going to rattle in. So she makes them both. Those are big free throws. Inbound pass coming up here for Model. Ball is going to be free. Georgia Womack comes out with it. We head back the other way. Model leading it on the scoreboard. It's 3. I thought that she made both of those free throws. We'll double check on that in a minute. But Temple set to inbound the basketball. Actually, we're going to have a timeout. I believe we'll take this one as well. 2:01 left to go in the ball game. Model on the scoreboard leading it 42-39. We'll be right back in 30 seconds.
If you ever find yourself moving through these doors,
We're gonna take care of you.
if you ever hear these sounds, or see these lights, may you find our caring team of ER experts all around you. This is the human spirit at its best. Advent Health. Feel whole.
All right, under 2 minutes to go officially in this one. Model leads it by 3, 42-39. Temple with it on the other end. They work it in the left wing corner. Does Malone handling the ball. It's going to send it back up top. Gets it over to Parham, who backs up between the circles, trying to work around a screen. And now goes down to the baseline. Leaves it underneath for Davis, who scores. Good sequence there for Temple, as Model's going to try to work it down the floor with 1:34, and now a 1-point ball game, 42-41. Mentioned there was a lot of time left. Here's Sanders, loses the handle. It goes out of bounds. It's coming back to Temple. So Temple Lady Tigers have stormed back. They were down by 7 here late in the half, and now they've got it back to a 1-point ball game with 1:22 left to go in the game. Malone trying to work around a screen, set by Bisping. And that is going to be a moving screen, I believe, against Temple, legal screen, and so that'll be a turnover. And it is coming back to the Lady Devils. And so Womack set to feed it in here for the Lady Devils. That was a good break there for the Lady Devils. Let's see if they can take advantage and add a little cushion here at the lead. Official went over to the scorer's table there to talk about something. I didn't see anything adjusted, but inbound pass is going to go to Cam Sanders in the backcourt. Dribbles off towards the right wing side, trying to work around a screen set by Pointer. She's already off to the left wing side of the floor and receives the pass. Pointer now going to go to work inside, kicks it out, gets it out to Sanders. Now into the corner, Samantha Betts. On to Sanders. Lots of good ball movement here from the Lady Devils on this possession. Here's Betts, goes in the lane, feeds it out. There's Pointer. Now on to Womack. Thought about the 3, had second thoughts. Now Betts going to pull the trigger on a 3, and that one rims out. An empty trip there for the Lady Devils as the rebound goes to Temple, but They throw it out of bounds after the rebound, and it's going to stay with Model. We're going to have a timeout as they try to draw something up here with 39 seconds left to go in the ball game. We'll keep it right here. Model leads it by 1, 42-41. There are 39 seconds on the clock, so there's a 4-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. Model with possession of the basketball after the ball was just thrown out of bounds by Temple. So this one is going down to the wire here, as we thought there was a good chance that it would between these two really good girls basketball teams, your Model Lady Devils and the Temple Lady Tigers. So this has been a good one. Everybody that paid the price of admission are getting their money's worth here tonight watching this basketball game. Even though we don't have a super big crowd here tonight, it's still been a great atmosphere and a good ball game. And we've got another one coming up. It's going to be the Model Blue Devils and the Temple Tigers locking horns in our nightcap coming up in just a little bit. And unless we have an overtime game here, which is entirely possible, we're tracking to get started on time with our second game tonight if this one concludes in regulation, but I don't know about that. We may need some extra basketball to decide this one. Both teams battling hard in this one. We've had so many lead changes and ties in this game that is a one-man show in terms of the commentary and keeping stats. I can't keep up with all of that, but it's double digits, I would say. But Cam Sanders has got the ball after the inbound pass. 32 seconds on the clock, 27 seconds on the shot clock. Lob underneath to Eva Pointer, knocks it down, and great feed there. I believe it was from Wood. Across the timeline go the Temple Tigers, now down by 3 with 17 seconds left to go on the clock. A Temple player feeds it off the back of one of the Model players, and they will get ready to inbound underneath their own basket after Josie Bisping checks back into the game for Aubrey Rigdon. So 15.9 seconds left. Temple with the ball, trailing by 3. Obviously the shot clock is turned off for the duration of regulation. 14.8 seconds left to go. Temple set to inbound the basketball. They survey the floor. Inbound pass goes to Bisping, drives in, ball is deflected as she was trying to pass to the perimeter. 10 seconds, turns around, misses the shot. Cam Sanders gets a massive rebound, and Model's going to dribble up the floor, getting fouled with 3.2 seconds left to go on the ball game. A little bit of hesitation there from Temple before they tried to initiate the foul, and that bled off a few precious seconds off the clock. And now Cam Sanders has got the opportunity from the charity stripe to ice this thing with Model up by 3 points. If she makes one of them, it's a 2-possession ball game. Misses the first. Big free throw coming up here. Don't want to leave any opportunity here for this Temple team to try to hit a 3 here and send this thing to overtime. So big opportunity here from the charity stripe. Definitely a lot of pressure here, and that one rattles in for Cam Sanders. That could be the final dagger. 3.2 seconds. If you're Model, you do not want to foul as Temple tries to shoot a 3 here. A block shot by Samantha Betts, and that is the end of the ball game. The Model Lady Devils are going to win it by a final score 45-41 to get back in the win column. Congratulations to the Model Lady Devils and head coach Sally Eccles on a hard-fought win tonight on their home court. Oh, man, what a victory there for Model. 45-41, your final score. Model victorious tonight at home. And we're back for the post-game show after a 3-minute timeout.
They call it Mo Day, a time of fanfare and pride. And another week with the neighborhood's best yard. Because you drafted the MVP of all mowers. A comfortable seat and adjustable controls bring the battle to your turf, not your backside. Ride like the wind on your solid steel stallion and give the fans something to cheer about, because it's your day. It's Mo Day.
At Smith & Wood Wealth Management, we're proud to be part of the Rome community, where the same teamwork that wins on the court inspires our approach to financial planning and investment. Just like the Model High School Blue Devils and Lady Devils, success starts with a solid game plan. Like a trusted coach, we provide insight and guidance so you can pursue your financial goals with confidence. The Smith & Wood financial planning process centers on understanding your unique goals and creating strategies that balance enjoyment today with preparations for tomorrow's challenges. We would love to work with you to build a game plan for the season ahead. WC Timber has been serving the Northwest Georgia and Northeast Alabama area since 1991. As a complete tree and timber service, WC Timber can handle thinning and clear cutting, tree chipping, stump removal, and storm damage, as well as bucket truck and crane services. For more information, visit them on the web at wctimber.com or give them a call at area code 706-238-1214. WC Timber and Tree Service. Back inside Woodard Gymnasium as we get ready to wrap up coverage of the girls broadcast for tonight. We'll wrap up by running down the scoring there from the ball game. But once again, we want to congratulate the Model Lady Devils and Coach Eccles on a great victory tonight over a really good opponent, the Temple Lady Tigers. Final score, Model 45, Temple 41, as the Lady Devils were able to hang on in regulation and pick up the victory there. We'll start with the Temple Lady Tigers, who picked up points from 5 different players tonight over the course of 4 quarters. They would pick up 6 points from Haley Davis. All 6 of her points came in the final 3rd and 4th quarters of the basketball game. 1 point from the free throw line from Aubrey Rigdon. They would have 5 points from Parham, and then 2 players in double digits. Anna Howell had 10, and then Taylor Malone, the senior, had 19 points, including 3 made threes there in the 4-quarter basketball game. Meanwhile, for your Lady Devils, and I got to issue an apology before I go through the numbers here. I cheated somebody out of 2 points, and I'm not sure who it was. I forgot to write down one of the baskets that took place, and I didn't realize it till the very end. So I apologize for that, but we'll do the best we can with what we've got. But for the Model Lady Devils, they would score 45 points, as we mentioned, 4 from Georgia Womack, 9 points from Sasha Wood, 4 from Eva Pointer, 2 points from Samantha Betts, 5 for Jada Wells, and then I had Cam Sanders with 19 points, including those 3 made threes after she scored 9 points in the first quarter alone. And again, I was missing 2 points from somebody, so I apologize, my math being a little bit off here tonight. But either way, the Model Lady Devils are the winners, and they pick up a 45-41 victory to move their season record to 10-6 overall, and more importantly, 4-1 in region play and Region 6 Class A Division I. Meanwhile, Temple Lady Tigers fall to 11-6 and even at 3-3 in region play and Region 6 Class A Division I after that region game. So with that said, we've got less than 10 minutes until we start the boys game. So what we're going to do is take a nice long break, a 5-minute break down the line, so they can get everything set up for the next stream for the boys videos. So be on the lookout for that. And we'll also have an opportunity to take a breath on our end on the radio side. But thank you for tuning in for Model Basketball tonight. We've got more coverage coming up. Again, the girls team wins tonight, 45-41, Model over Temple. We're back for more after 5 minutes.